Well, guys, it's a day that ends in Y, which means Donald Trump is, of course, out there making an absolute fool out of himself, making an embarrassment of the United States. And today was a particularly strange day because Jeanine Pirro, the crazy lady from over at Fox News, she was actually getting sworn in as the U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C. And because there were cameras there, Donnie Boy, of course, had to run in front of those cameras to make everything about him. Because that is what Donald Trump does, right? He kind of just likes to put on this show for the American people as though he is getting all of these different things done. But in reality, it's all just a facade. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Donnie Boy had to say today. Here he is saying that Harvard, they're getting their ass kicked. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
Do it. I mean, people with 1,600 on their boards don't get in, and they're letting people in, and they're bragging about how they're teaching them basic mathematics. Where do these people come from? So we have to look at the list, and Harvard has to understand the last thing I want to do is hurt them. They're hurting themselves. They're fighting. You know, Columbia has been really, they were very, very bad what they've done. They're very anti-Semitic and lots of other things. But they're working with us on finding a solution. And, you know, they're taking off that hot seat. But Harvard wants to fight. They want to show how smart they are, and they're getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, Donald Trump is just full of shit here. He himself is actually the one who is getting his ass kicked. I mean, the Trump administration issued a list of demands which included hiring and firing decisions, influence over that. They wanted to see the ideological makeup of the faculty, of the students, of the activists. It's all been insane. And anytime he, takes new action against Harvard, he is being shot down in the courts almost immediately. And does anybody know where he got this talking point from? Oh, they're teaching remedial math at one of the most prestigious schools in our country. What is he talking about? Where did he get this from? This is his new favorite talking point every time Harvard comes up. Let's go ahead and move on to this clip. Now, this is actually kind of funny because apparently on Wall Street, there is a new taco trade, T-A-C-O. I guess it means Trump always chickens out. Okay? And he is actually asked about this to his face.
Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question.
Oh, he is mad. That was quite a tangent based on a pretty simple question. Why do you always chicken out all the time on these tariffs? I don't chicken out. What do you mean? 145% tariffs on China. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about, Donnie Boy. You and your administration use this asinine formula to try to calculate these insanely high tariffs. You implemented those for what, 2 or 3 hours? And then you walked away. You left the ones in for China at 145%. And it was your administration who came crawling to the negotiating table to get another 90-day pause with China and the U.S. You chicken out all of the time. And that is, I don't know, it's pretty common parlance at this point, right? And if they've got a special name called the taco trade in Wall Street, I'm all here for it. Here he is, just openly bragging about his blatant corruption.
That money, I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE, and we brought back $5.1 trillion. So I made that money in about 2 hours, the money that we're talking about, but it's still think of it, $300 billion we've spent. With no checks, no balances, they just send cash. You can imagine what's happened to that money. I never saw anything like it in my life, but I'm more interested because I picked up $5.1 trillion and, by the way, got a beautiful, big, magnificent, free airplane for the United States Air Force, okay? Very proud of that, too. They tried to say, oh, it's Trump's airplane. Oh, yeah, sure. It's too big. It's frankly, it's too big, much too big.
When can we expect that to be the Air Force One?
Well, it's here already.
Yeah.
It's in the country. It's being refitted for military standard.
How much will it cost to refit it?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is, a hell of a lot less than building a new one.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Jeanine Pirro is standing right behind him, and even she's rolling her eyes because Donald Trump is just so insane. He's just sitting here openly bragging about accepting a $400 million plane from the Qatari royals, and then he can't even answer the question about how much it's actually going to cost to retrofit that plane to make it suitable for the president. Estimates put that at what, between $500,000 and $1 billion? And then he is going to turn around. So we're going to spend nearly $1 billion to retrofit the plane so Donald Trump can use it for what, 2 years? And then right before he gets out of office, he's passing the plane off to his presidential library, which means, in effect, it's Donald Trump's plane. I mean, it is open, blatant corruption. And he tries to play it off like, oh no, they're giving it to the United States. They're giving it to the military, guys. No, basically what he is doing is using the military as a pass-through entity for a $400 million plane. And let's not forget, when he passes that off to the presidential library, we will very likely have to pay more millions of dollars to decommission the plane. That's what our taxpayers or our taxpayer money is going to under this administration. Hope everybody's happy. Here's Donald Trump talking about maybe a new Iran nuclear deal.
Appropriate. We're having very good discussions with him, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now, because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors. We can take whatever we want. We can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? 2 ways of doing it.
So let me get this straight. Donald Trump, in his first term, comes into office. He shreds up the Iran nuclear deal that Obama had negotiated, a pretty good deal that was actually working. And now Trump, in his second term, sounds like he's just trying to recreate a deal that would be similar to the Obama deal. This is the competence, the incompetence that we are dealing with here. Donald Trump, because it had Obama's name on it, just wanted to rip it up. We are seeing the same thing with anything that Biden tried to do. He's trying to roll that back as well. He is a pathetic man baby. And I just don't understand what he means. So we're going to be able to go into Iran. We're going to be able to go into their nuclear facilities whenever we want. We can take whatever we want. We can even blow the buildings up if we want. What is he talking about? Again, I don't think he has any clue as to how any of this stuff works, how a deal with Iran would work, if it even would work. I mean, we have lost all credibility in Iran's eyes because Donald Trump blew all of our credibility in his first term. It is absolutely insane. Here he is on Harvard again.
Okay, Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students. About 31% of their students are foreign-based, almost 31%. We want to know where those students come. Are they troublemakers? What countries do they come? And we're not going to, if somebody is coming from a certain country and they're 100% fine, which I hope most of them are, but many of them won't be, you're going to see some very radical people. They're taking people from areas of the world that are very radicalized, and we don't want them making trouble in our country. So I saw yesterday that in the middle of the UK, there was a nice young man. He wants to go back to school at Harvard, and he looked good to me, but I want to check his past. But we want to be able to see why, these countries aren't helping us. They're not investing in Harvard and all of our, we are. So why would 31%, why would a number so big? I think, number one, I think they should have a cap of maybe around 15%, not 31%.
This just shows a complete lack of understanding about foreign students. Foreign students come into the United States and they pay full tuition for all of our universities. So to say that they aren't helping pay for their education, we're just kind of like letting them freeload off the American system, it's just a little hogwash. And to think that we're going to set a cap for Harvard, is that something that the president should be able to do? And then he wants to check everybody's passports. Donald Trump's going to be there. When you exit the plane, he's going to check your passport and make sure that you're okay. I mean, it's just insane. Does he really think, like, when these students come over to the United States, they have to apply for a student visa? To think that we know nothing about these students who are attending some of our universities just seems a bit absurd to me. Of course, we know who these people are, and for whatever reason, Donald Trump wants Harvard to compile a list of these students. So what? They're easy to target by this administration. We went over this in another video, especially when he's asking about, the ideological capture of the student or the faculty or the activists. He wants to see all that and have influence over the hiring and firing and all of this other nonsense. Why does the government need the lists of the students who already have visas, who already had to get approved to come into this country? I mean, he is basically trying to ideologically purge our elite universities to make sure that they are MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. That's what's going on here. It is absolutely despicable, and it's un-American. I'll go ahead and show you this one last clip. Here Donald Trump is considering pardons for those who conspired to kidnap and maybe even kill Gretchen Whitmer.
Will you pardon the people who are accused of conspiring to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer?
I'm going to look at it. I will take a look at it. It's been brought to my attention. I did watch the trial. It looked to me like somewhat of a railroad job. I'll be honest with you. It looked to me like some people said some stupid things. They were drinking, and I think they said stupid things. But I'll take a look at that. And a lot of people are asking me that question from both sides, actually. A lot of people think they got railroaded. A lot of people think they got railroaded.
A lot of people think they got railroaded. A lot of people think they got railroaded, guys. Just so you know. I mean, this is outrageous. For the President of the United States to consider pardoning those who plotted to kidnap a sitting governor at her vacation house and then maybe tie her up, maybe torture her, maybe kill her. You're thinking about letting those people free? And you're explaining it as though, oh, it's just a couple of guys. They must have been drunk and saying some crazy things. No, these guys actually took steps. They staked out Gretchen Whitmer's vacation home. They knew her schedule. They had a plan. And because there was FBI agent informants in that group, the plot was actually thwarted. Okay? They secured 9 convictions in that case. They also had 5 acquittals in that case. So some of the people who were actually tied up, who didn't actually have material support of the plot, they were actually set free by the jury. And that is just how the system works. Okay? And to think that we're going to come in behind and just nullify the jury decision, especially for a sitting governor, a Democratic governor, is just insane. I mean, this is what we can expect from Donald Trump, right? We saw him pardon 1,500 January 6th insurrectionists. He's going around pardoning people who pay him off in this way or that way. He's pardoning sheriffs who are MAGA loyalists. It is all grotesque. Donald Trump is literally turning us into the country that he has been ranting and raving about for years, saying that, oh, you know, America's turning into this shithole country. You, my friend, are taking us there. This is the most corrupt president that we've ever seen. So that's Donald Trump for you guys. Ranting about making a new Iran deal, saying that he's actually kicking Harvard's ass, even though the reverse is true. I mean, I don't like covering these press conferences, but this is the president of the United States, and we should be in tune with the next crazy thing that he is going to say. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just launders Donald Trump's bullshit day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. It is free. And if you guys want to see Donald Trump having the meltdown of his life since being sworn into office this second time, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.